Long before cities rose, before machines roared, and before the world was divided by borders, Earth was a vast, untamed wilderness. Towering forests stretched endlessly, rivers carved their way through rocky mountains, and the skies were filled with the cries of creatures yet unknown. It was a world both beautiful and unforgiving, where survival was the greatest adventure. And in this wild landscape, humanity began its first journey, a journey that would change the course of life forever. In a quiet valley surrounded by misty mountains, a small band of early humans stirred from their slumber. They were unlike us in many ways. Their skin was darker, their bodies sturdier, and their minds raw with curiosity. Yet in their hearts, they carried the same spark that all humans do, a desire to explore, to understand, and to survive. The leader of the group, a tall and wise figure named Kale, rose from the ground. His eyes scanned the horizon, watching the sunrise paint the sky in hues of gold and crimson. Today was not just any day. Today, the elders had decided. Their tribe would embark on a journey unlike any before leaving their familiar valley to seek a new home, a safer place where food was abundant and the threats of wild beasts less pressing. Kale gathered his people around a crackling fire. Children clung to their mothers, while the elders shared words of wisdom passed down through countless generations. "The world beyond the mountains is vast," Kale said, his voice strong but calm. "We will face dangers we cannot imagine, but we will also find wonders that will fill our hearts with awe. We walk not just for survival, but for the future of our children." And so, with bundles of carefully gathered food and rudimentary tools, the first humans stepped into the unknown. Their journey began slowly. They moved cautiously through thick forests, listening to the rustle of leaves and the distant growls of predators. Every step was a test of their instincts, every sound a signal of potential danger. Yet, even as fear gripped their hearts, they pressed forward, driven by hope and the promise of discovery. Days turned into weeks, as the tribe navigated rivers, scaled rocky cliffs, and endured harsh weather. Rain soaked them to the bone, yet they built shelters from branches and leaves, learning to adapt to their environment. At night, they huddled around fires, sharing stories and songs, their voices blending with the sounds of the wild. It was in these moments that bonds were forged and trust became as essential as food and water. One morning, as dawn broke over a vast plain, the tribe encountered a herd of wild animals grazing peacefully. Kale motioned for silence, and the humans observed with a mix of awe and hunger. Hunting was necessary, but it was also a sacred act, a ritual that connected them with the earth and its creatures. With careful coordination, the hunters stalked their prey, and wooden spears, and returned victorious. The tribe feasted not with greed, but with gratitude, understanding that each life taken was a gift that ensured their own survival. As seasons changed, the humans discovered more than just food and shelter. They learned to recognize medicinal plants, to create fire with flint, and to fashion clothing from animal hides. They watched the stars and began to understand the patterns of the moon and sun. Slowly, their knowledge grew, shaping them into a species capable of adapting to the vast, unpredictable world around them. But survival was never guaranteed. One fateful night, a great storm descended upon the valley where the tribe had made camp. Thunder roared, lightning split the sky, and the river swelled with a sudden flood. Kale rallied his people, guiding them to higher ground, yet not all made it. Loss became a painful teacher, a reminder that nature's power was beyond comprehension. The grief of those lost weighed heavily on the tribe, but it also strengthened their resolve. They understood that their journey was not only about enduring the present, but ensuring the continuation of their lineage. Months turned into years. The first humans encountered new landscapes, vast deserts where the sun scorched their backs, icy mountains that tested their endurance, and dense jungles where predators lurked in every shadow. Each obstacle required ingenuity and courage. They developed tools, created strategies for hunting and gathering, and even devised ways to communicate more effectively. Language, in its earliest form, began to emerge, a symphony of sounds and gestures that allowed the tribe to share ideas, fears, and dreams. One pivotal moment in their journey occurred when they discovered a fertile valley surrounded by rivers and forests. The land was abundant with fish, game, and edible plants. It was a paradise, a place where the tribe could settle and thrive. Kale and the elders recognized the significance of this discovery. They decided to stay, building permanent shelters and planting the seeds of a future civilization. The valley became a sanctuary, a place where knowledge, culture, and community could flourish. But even in times of abundance, the first humans faced challenges. Conflicts occasionally arose within the tribe, disagreements over resources, leadership, and decisions. Yet, through cooperation and empathy, they learned to resolve disputes, understanding that unity was vital for survival. They celebrated their successes with rituals, songs, and dances, passing traditions to the younger generation, ensuring that knowledge and culture would endure. Over time, the first humans began to innovate in ways that would leave a lasting legacy. They experimented with stone tools, discovered fire's potential for cooking and protection, and explored new methods of hunting and gathering. Their curiosity drove them to observe the world around them, leading to early forms of science and problem-solving. They were not just survivors, they were pioneers, shaping their environment and carving a path for generations to come. As centuries passed, the descendants of Kale's tribe expanded across continents. They adapted to deserts, forests, and icy tundras. They domesticated animals, cultivated crops, and developed complex social structures. The epic journey that began with a small group stepping into the unknown had grown into the foundation of human civilization. The first humans' courage, curiosity, and resilience echoed through time, testament to the indomitable spirit that defines our species. Looking back from the vantage point of history, the journey of the first humans is more than a story of survival, is a story of hope, ingenuity, and connection. They faced unimaginable challenges, yet their determination and collaboration allowed them to thrive. Each discovery, each lesson learned, each bond formed contributed to the intricate tapestry of humanity. And though we live in a world vastly different from theirs, the echoes of their footsteps remain, reminding us of where we came from and the endless possibilities that lie ahead. In the end, the epic journey of the first humans on Earth is not just about the past. It is a mirror reflecting the essence of humanity itself. It teaches us that curiosity drives innovation, that resilience overcomes adversity, and that connection, whether with nature, with each other, or with the unknowns, the heart of our existence. From the misty valleys and roaring rivers to the towering mountains and endless plains, the first humans embarked on a path that forever changed the planet. And it is on their shoulders that we continue to journey, exploring, discovering, and writing the next chapter in the story of life.